You're up.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of our new live video podcast, LSTAR Live. I'm Bill Madder, the CEO at LSTAR, and with me today is Adam Miller, 2023 President and now Chair of the London St. Thomas Association of Realtors. Good afternoon, Adam.
Thanks, Bill. I'm glad. I hope we didn't lose too many of our thousands of viewers that we had, but we did have some audio trouble, so we will try to recreate the amazing conversation we just had and see where we go from there.
All right, great, thanks, Adam. Today we are going to talk about the stats from July, a little bit more discussion about the Ontario Realtor Wellness Program, and then a bit about Phase 2 of the Trust and Real Estate Services Act, or TRESA.
All right, let's get started with some July stats. So as many of you would know, we had 640 home sales in July. That is a little lower when we look at the 10-year average, but that is 19.6, so almost 20% higher than a year ago. So we are sort of on the up and up in the last shorter period of time. During the same period of time, we had 1,333 new listings come onto the market. Again, that is up 8.2% over 2022. So the local housing supply increase inventory from 2.2 months in June to 2.9 months in July. So that gets us close to that 3-month sort of balanced market situation with the inventory there.
Yeah, it's good to see the listings coming on the market, and again, lots of buyers still out there looking for new places. So glad to see the listing and the inventory come up a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So our average sale price was up slightly, so 668 from last month. Lower from the last month. So we did see the interest rate hike have a bit of the effect that it wanted to in driving those average sale price down. So it was down from last month, and then almost 2% down from last month with our benchmark price at 613,000. So I think the interest rate shows what it's trying to do and drive those sale prices down. But all these figures do show that there's still a great resilience in our market. There's still a large demand, even with the increasing borrowing costs, and we also speak, a lot about the huge demand that we're seeing across Canada. Also, the demand that will be increasing with the Canadian immigration policies that we're seeing lately.
Yeah, that's for sure. And just the other day, I was looking at Real Estate Magazine online, and it showed that Canada's population grew by 1.2 million people in the last year.
Yeah, I read the article too, and I recall, being shocked by the TD Economics predictions that they're saying that the population growth remains at the same level in this country. The gap between housing supply and demand will swell to over 500,000 units by 2025. So not 2030 or 2035, 2025, which is really just around the corner. So that gap is getting to sort of that gigantic proportions that I think we're going to start to see a lot of the governments trying to act on that quickly.
So that does have an impact on affordability. So how do houses look in our area in the affordability side of things?
Affordability is always a great question. If you look at the LSTAR's jurisdictions, we've always been considered, part of that affordable area, especially when you're looking at Oakville, Milton, any of the Golden Horseshoe. A lot of that people that are coming down the 401, even from Kitchener-Waterloo, they're seeing that the London St. Thomas and surrounding areas here is still a pretty affordable place to live. But then if you look on a sort of a grander scale, like places like Edmonton, they're quite a bit more affordable than that we're seeing here in Ontario in southwestern Ontario.
Yeah, that's for sure. I had lunch with one of my colleagues from Waterloo area the other day, and he was saying their pricing is approaching $1 million for average price. So certainly there's value to be seen here in London based compared to there. Anyway, so let's shift gears a little bit. I know there's still a few questions out there about Ontario Realtor Wellness Program that you'd like to address.
Yeah, one of the frequent questions asked about the Ontario Realtor Wellness Plan is pertains to the insurance carrier. So the insurance provider is the Comprehensive Benefit Solutions, which is CBS. So they will be managing the account, and then ORWP will be the plan administrator. So LSTAR really will only be the monthly collector of the dues. So you have CBS sort of monitoring the plan and ORWP as the administrators of the plan. So we do play a bit of a role, but it's a fairly smaller role in our collecting their monthly dues.
No, that's good to know, and I think there were some members asking about the carrier, so that's great to know that. And one other question we've been getting recently is about adding family members to the standard plan. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, so there was some information that came out from ORWP this week with the good news of adding members, not necessarily family members. I guess the word would be dependents is probably the better word for that. So sort of a +1 into your plan. Anyone can add a +1 for $26.43 per month, and then they can add unlimited eligible dependents for $52.01 per month. So that gives kind of an idea of how much it's going to cost to add one other person to the plan as of right now. But the big note on that will be to add anyone to the plan. There is a tight period of time from January 1st till February 29th. So if you can add the dependent in that period of time, you're good to go. If it's after that, then they will wait till the same period next year, which would be in 2025. So it would be roughly the same amount of time that they would have to add a dependent in 2025.
All right, thanks for clarifying that, Adam. Is there a place where our members can go to find more information about that and maybe subscribing to the 3 top-up plans?
Absolutely. So there's a frequent asked questions sort of portal that people can see. I think there's going to be a QR code on the screen right now so that you can scan that and it'll take you right to it. But that's ORWP hashtag FAQ or # for any of the older agents out there. So if you put that in, that section will bring you into all the frequent asked questions. It'll talk about the family plan, adding dependents, and a lot of the questions that I think people are looking for of what's going forward and how the plan's going to roll out January 1st are all in one convenient spot for you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Adam. Now, what about another topic, moving on to TRESA, or the Trust and Real Estate Services Act, which will come into place or into force on December 1st, 2023. That's this year.
Yeah, so on January 28th, 2023, the government of Ontario introduced their regulations for the second phase of the TRESA targeting. So there's a list here, sort of number 1 being multiple and designate representation. I think you're going to see those 2 words being repeated over and over in the next couple of months. You're going to hear a lot about that. Also about the self-represented parties, the open offer policy that we're going to see, in the procedures that the seller can do to have that, a written agreement and disclosure, new consumer information guide, Realtor Code of Ethics, and RICO's discipline process. So lots coming down the pipeline from the TRESA Act for sure. And to help you get familiarized with all the new regulations, on September 12th, 2023, LSTAR will be hosting a webinar featuring a presentation about the most important changes that's brought to you by through the legislation. Again, there should be a QR code on the screen. If you scan that QR code, it will take you right to the registration page, and you can get set up for the September 12th. I do recommend as many people logging into that as possible. And then ORWP has created a TRESA guide hub, which can be accessed through orwp.com/advocacy/TRESA. So that will kind of give you a place to kind of have one hub that will have a lot of the questions of what's going on with TRESA.
Great, thanks, Adam. And I did hear this morning, actually, from our education folks that there was 46 members signed up for that webinar already, but we'd like to see that more like 200 or 300 because it is going to be really good information. But thanks for clearing that up, Adam, or adding that information. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Absolutely. So, Bill, I don't know if you want to tell our LSTAR members about the London Chamber of Commerce event that LSTAR was great enough to sponsor.
Absolutely. That's something we really strive to strengthen our ties with the local business community. LSTAR will be sponsoring an event hosted on August 22nd by the London Chamber of Commerce. We'll feature a special presentation by Ontario's Minister of Finance. And again, the link displayed on the screen will get you to the registration page. And we look forward to seeing a lot of folks, all of our members out there, to hear what the finance minister has to say for the next little while.
Yeah, I know I'm very excited about that to hear what the finance minister has to say. I think it's it's a bit of a crazy time out there, so it'll be great to see what his thoughts are moving through the next section of 2023 will look like.
Great.
So I think we're almost done. So the good news for all the viewers, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we really do appreciate and recognize that there is difference of opinions, especially out on the social media platforms. So we definitely understand that there is criticism and comments to be sort of said and gone back and forth. But we really, appreciate if the personal attacks can not be part of that. So regardless if it's on social media, in person, on any of the LSTAR events, a lot of people put a lot of hard time and energy into volunteering, and it is a little defeating sometimes to have some personal attacks on these people coming in. So if you can keep it professional, just like our industry, that would be fantastic moving forward.
That's a great point, Adam. And just remind everyone, you're welcome to contact me at any time with any comments or concerns you might have. My email is very simple. It's bill@lstar.ca. Thanks a lot for all the information you shared with us today, Adam. Thanks to all our viewers for joining us. Apologies if you did get held up with the slight technical difficulties at the beginning, but we're glad you're there and we're glad you're listening to this today. So enjoy the summer and enjoy the sunshine out there, and have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks.